We just got the Corsair K65 Pro Mini keyboard, and we're going to be doing my first impressions video on it. Packaging is clean overall, has this yellow and black vibe, and a lot of specs and features. We're going to be doing a basic video here, nothing too detailed. We're going to have the full review coming soon. Got the keyboard in here. We have this space bar with a nice pattern texture to it. Looks really, really cool. And then we have the braided cable that connects via USB-C to USB-A. All right, so we have the keyboard out of the box, and here's what it looks like. You can see it has this nice 65% layout, which means it's not gonna be a mini, it's gonna have the arrow keys and some of these. The keyboard itself has some good weight to it, and if I do a little bend test, I mean, this thing is solid, not budging one bit. So you can tell this is a high quality build. And then speaking of build, you can see right here, this is a shiny material, and that's gonna be an aluminum plate, which is cold to the touch. And I really love it when keyboards use aluminum parts. Flipping over to the back over here, nothing too special, but you can see you got one level of adjustment for the legs and then grips everywhere. Overall, solid build quality. Now in terms of media control buttons, you can see that there are gonna be some prints on the keyboard on the edges of the keys, and over here if you hold like function and this mute button or play button, that's how you would control media. And they have like icons all over this thing that lets you have some shortcuts that you can access. And then they also have all of these G keys along the side here, which are programmable macros that you can assign in the software, which we won't be really covering the software in depth in this video. That's something I'll be saving for the full review. Now the keycaps themselves are going to be double shot PBT. What does that mean? It means they're going to be nice and resistant to wear and tear over time. And you can see that these ones here have a nice like noisy texture to them, which is going to help with the grip. And then you can also see that these are going to be see-through, which means the RGB lights are going to flow through here fairly easily. Now the key switches themselves are using Corsair's OPX switches, which is pretty much just regular optical switches, but Corsair's version. The color of their optical switches are going to be this gray color right here. And here's a quick typing test for y'all to hear what this thing sounds like. So overall, not a bad typing experience, definitely on the lower level side in terms of sound, and you can make it even quieter if you just press each key lightly, so that way you're not distracting other people around you. Something really cool that Corsair did with this keyboard is they added 2 soft layers in the keyboard, which is going to help soften every keystroke, and it's not going to feel so vibrating and hollow inside. So instead it's going to be more polished after every keystroke that you click. So now we're going to go ahead and turn this keyboard on using the braided cable that came included. And the connection that it's going to be using is going to be regular USB-A onto a USB-C. And the USB-C side does connect into the back left side of the keyboard. And then we just run this USB-A side to our computer. So we got the keyboard plugged in, and you can now see the RGB lights, which look really cool, by the way. And I would say they're pretty vibrant. It would be a lot more vibrant if it had like a white backplate on the back, but this one doesn't, and that's totally fine. And the reason they might look dim on the camera here, and they actually do look a little dim off the camera just looking at it directly, the reason is for that is because I have this big light in front of me. But if I go ahead and dim the lights, go ahead and turn them off, and now you can see these things are much more bright, and at night they look much brighter than they do with a big light in front of me. And this keyboard did come with 2 space bars, as you've noticed, and the space bar is going to allow for light to fly through this pattern, which is a bunch of little triangles, and we're going to see what that looks like. This looks a lot cooler. It has like this nice pattern on it, and if I go ahead and just turn off the lights, you can see it looks even cooler at night with this nice blue bar. Big fan of that. I've never seen that on any keyboard, and huge props to Corsair here for making something look super cool on their keyboard. Now in terms of customizing the lights on the keyboard, the way you can customize them is by holding the function key and then pressing the C key to switch between different profiles. So here you can see we have purple, yellow, white, and a whole bunch of different effects that glow different patterns. There's a lot more settings you can do with the RGB lights on the keyboard as well as in the software, but we'll be covering that again in a later video. Now in terms of the connection type, the only way you can connect this keyboard is via the USB-C to USB-A cable that's included. There's not going to be any wireless connection options like Bluetooth or using a USB receiver. This thing's going to be plug and play via the USB cable, and it's going to be fairly easy to use. So I'm going to spend some more time with this keyboard and release my software and review video in the future. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And then when the review video is out, you're going to be able to click the video link right up here. And with that being said, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.